Okay, so I want to tell you about the intermittent starting fault they've had on this 2009 Fiat 500 Lounge, and it's been plaguing me for the last month or so. It's been driving me around the twist basically. So if you swipe to the end of the video in the last minute, you'll get the fix. But if you want to listen to me waffle on about what it's been doing and what's been going on with it, I'll tell you. Right, I bought this car for my daughter. She's learning to drive, and it's a 2009 Lounge model 1.2. It's in fairly good condition. It's not fantastic. It really is showing its age, and the problem really is an age-related problem. I mean, as you can see with this, it's got a few dents. It's got some scratches. The wheels are curbed many times. Now I'm going to come round to the other side. As you can see, it's done a fair few miles. It's done 155,000 miles. Well, the intermittent starting problem showed itself after the car had been stood for a while, and it just would not turn on the key. So I found that my daughter's been driving this, like I said. She's learning to drive, and we've been out many times, done 300 or so miles, and it has never failed to start when she's stalled it. And I mean, she's literally stalled this car 50 times plus, and it's always started on the key. Now the problem comes when the car's been sitting, like on the end of the drive or in the street, and it hasn't been used for a bit. What happens is you turn the key and there's nothing, no cranking at all on the engine. So I took it on myself to buy a new starter motor. I thought it's an age-related thing. The car's old, 13 years old. Maybe it's still on its original starter motor, so I'll change it. So I managed to buy on eBay a starter motor off a 2009 Fiat 500 that had 10,000 miles on it. It was a Bosch starter motor, looked like brand new. And 2 weeks ago, I thought I'll swap that in, because what happened was me and my daughter went to Tesco's for a 5 mile or so drive, and then when we came out of Tesco's, turned the key, wouldn't start at all, nothing on the cranking. So in the end I had to sit in it, and she pushed it and bump started it, and it went. And we drove home. I said, don't stall, whatever you do, because it's not going to start. Probably not going to start. So then gets home, tries to start it, won't start. So I took it on myself to buy a new starter. Well, I say a new starter motor, a really good second-hand starter motor. So I paid £25 for it off eBay. Looked brand new in the pictures. Guy said it was mint off a 10,000 mile car, 2019. So I bought it, and it arrived 2 days later. So that weekend I fitted it, which was about 2 weeks ago, and it still wouldn't start before I'd fitted it. And as soon as I fitted it, it started. And I found on the starter motor that the activation wire, which throws in the starter motor, was actually corroded, along with the washer, steel washer on the starter that it contacts to turn and activate the starter motor and throw it in. The lead itself was all right. So here's me thinking, yep, I've sussed that. New starter, that's fixed it. I said, probably won't ever fail again now. So we've been out in it all week, and then yesterday came to it. It's been sitting for probably 4 or 5 days. Turn the key, would not start, no cranking. But I did actually hear it crank for probably a millisecond, and then it wasn't enough to start the engine, so it wouldn't go. I tried for 30 minutes, tried everything, wouldn't go. So I thought, right, I'm gonna have to suss this now, because there's nothing worse than an unreliable car, and it would be a nightmare in traffic if she stalled and it wouldn't start, because these Fiats, they really do stall easy. So it's done lots of starts and stops through stalling. Anyway, a friend of mine came round, said, what's the problem? I said, won't start. Checked all the fuses, checked all the relays under the bonnet, and decided to check whether I'd tightened the leads up on the starter motor correctly while my friend held the key in the cranking position, and this did not make any difference, didn't do anything. It was completely dead, would not go. Anyway, checking leads, which we had a look around, and I'm thinking, where is the earth strap lead to the engine? Because it doesn't come from the battery. It actually, I'll show you now. This is the fix to the problem. If you look down the front of the battery, you can actually see I reached down and wiggled the earth strap to the engine, and this is what happened. This is the actual earth strap, and it just literally fell to pieces in my hand. So I thought, there's the root source of the problem. So in the end, I've fitted now a plastic coated earth strap. You have to take the battery out, take the battery tray out, and it's actually bolted to the gearbox underneath the clutch slave cylinder conveniently. So as soon as I did this fix, replaced it with a decent earth strap, turned the key, put it all back together, turned the key, and the car started instantly and sounded so much better. So what happens is the electrons in the battery flow from the minus to the plus, and the engine was not actually connected to any part of the body, where, as you can see down there, the leads come from the battery to the body, and then from the body to the engine. So 300 or so amps on getting to the engine, and that is another question as well, because all them amps trying to go through to the engine have no way to get there when you're trying to crank, and it knocks out, sometimes it knocks out the ECU, because the ECUs are known to fail, and it wouldn't surprise me that it's the amps trying to get down the wires to the ECU, which is actually mounted on the engine. So leave any comments, and hopefully this helps a few people who might have the same problem. I know this problem won't occur on later models because I've checked, and my other daughter has one which is a 14 plate, and the earth strap arrangement isn't the same on that later model. So it's a pretty poor quality strap, and I think what's happened is it's heated up. When the engine starts, there's resistance and it heats up, which is added to the corrosion, and eventually what you'll be left with is no connection to the engine from the body itself. There's no other earth strap on the engine. So swap that earth strap out for a good quality decent one. It's M8 size holes needed with 13mm nuts. Quick simple fix, and you should have reliable starting again. If you have any comments, just leave them. Cheers, thanks, bye.